It's no secret that Batman the Animated Series is one of the greatest animated TV shows of all time. In fact, IMDb even rank it at number 1 in their best cartoons ever list. So with a show that was so highly regarded and made very good money through toys and merchandise, why was it ever cancelled? Well, in today's video we are going to look at what went wrong with Batman the Animated Series. Let's get into it. So first appearing on our screens in 1992, which also happens to be the year I was born, Batman the Animated Series swiftly captured the affection of both fans and reviewers with its inventive approach to adapting the Batman story and its storytelling that broke new ground for a kid's animation during that time. The series received several accolades throughout its broadcast, including 4 Emmy Awards, and played a significant role in influencing the comic books, like the transformation of the character Mr. Freeze from just a standard thug to a truly tragic and almost relatable antagonist. And of course there was the introduction of Harley Quinn. The show presented a sophisticated and sincere portrayal of the Batman universe while still retaining its enchanting and compassionate nature. Nearly 30 years since its original release, the series remains widely respected and admired by both fans and critics. However, despite all of this positive reception, Batman the Animated Series was ultimately axed in 1999 due to a few factors. The primary reason for its cancellation was of course its inability to attract a substantial viewership. Although the show premiered with great promise, its ratings never quite reached expectations. 3 months after its launch, Fox began airing new episodes on Sunday evenings, but it failed to meet expectations as it competed with the popular show 60 Minutes, which aired at the same time. Thus the show was relegated back to the weekday afternoons by March 1993. Then in '94 it was revamped as The Adventures of Batman and Robin, with Robin as a far more prominent character, also hoping to appeal to a wider, younger audience by using a more relatable character. But it still failed to improve ratings, especially after being rescheduled to Saturday mornings. After the show concluded then in 1995, it wasn't revived until '97 under the new name, The New Batman Adventures, aired together with Superman the Animated Series in a 1-hour block. But even this didn't lead to great ratings, and it was eventually cancelled for good in 1999. Although ratings were obviously a significant factor in the show's cancellation, it seems that the creators' desire to move on from the project played a far more significant role. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman in the series, as well as various other adaptations of the character, RIP, explained in an interview that the reason why Paul Dini, Bruce Timm and the other creators of the show ceased working on it because they had pretty much exhausted their ideas for stories. Conroy noted that they did not want to sacrifice the quality of the show by creating uninteresting and subpar stories. So it makes sense that Batman the Animated Series came to an end despite its popularity. It's far better to conclude a story when its creators want it to end, rather than drag it out and risk ruining it. And it's likely because of that very reason that the series is still held in such high regard today. It doesn't really have many bad episodes. Now, despite the cancellation of Batman the Animated Series, its legacy still endures to this day. The show's impact on the Batman mythos has already been discussed, but it also initiated the creation of the DC Animated Universe, which encompassed Superman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Static Shock, as well as the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Each of these shows earned critical acclaim in their own right, and the DC Animated Universe as a whole remains highly regarded among both fans and critics. Needless to say, none of this would have been possible if it were not for Batman the Animated Series. And let's be honest, it's not just the shows and movies that are set within this universe that have done really well, but it paved way for countless other DC animated adaptations that have been extremely successful. Just look at Batman Under the Red Hood, or Justice League Doom, both of which have 100% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Even though a lot of the DC stuff are adaptations of comic book storylines, it's very clear that they wouldn't have been the same without the success of what had come before them. Let's not forget that there were also multiple feature-length movies set within the Batman Animated Series universe, one of which, Mask of the Phantasm, had a theatrical release and was also insanely well received. So surely, even if a full season of stories was not doable, the odd one-off movie should still be on the cards, right? Well, with fan interest in a reboot still present, a few questions remain. Have the creators of Batman the Animated Series truly run out of ideas, or could they launch a reboot of the show? There is certainly no lack of interest from fans, but with 30 years having passed since the series first aired, you have to believe that the expectations for a potential reboot would be hard to satisfy. Of course, that's not a reason to not try. We did of course have the announcement of the Caped Crusader about 1 year ago, featuring some of the original team, but also J.J. Abrams, to add that Hollywood factor. But that has since been scrapped. I know there were mixed feelings towards this show, but personally I had faith and was quite excited to see it brought to screen. It would never have tarnished the brilliance of what came before, so in my opinion there's no harm in trying to strike gold a second time. I'm still holding on to a tiny bit of hope that another studio will perhaps pick it up and it will still happen, but it's more than likely just a fool's hope. Guys, would you believe it? The day after I recorded this video, Amazon Studios officially announced that they had purchased the rights to the Caped Crusader. So we will be getting that show after all. Looks like it wasn't a fool's hope. Anyway, that about wraps it up for today. I'm curious, would you guys like to see more videos on the animated series? Because it's probably my favourite thing to talk about in the DC universe. So if you want more content on Batman the Animated Series, leave a comment down below simply saying more BTAS. Then I will know that it's something that you guys want. Anyway, that's it from me today, my friends. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you choose to do. Please don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and return to the Batcave for more Bat content.